My first guest tonight hosted his final episode of CBS's Face the Nation this week. He is now the co-anchor of CBS This Morning. Please welcome John Dickerson. Nice to see you again.
It's great to be back.
And I hope we get to see a lot more of you because now you're just around the corner at the Broadcast Center on 57th Street.
Yeah, I'll come anytime you want me.
Okay, great. CBS Face the Nation. It is the longest-running show on CBS. You anchored it for 2 years. Your mother started off at CBS working at that show as an associate producer. Sunday was your last show. Was that a tough show to do?
Yeah, it was very tough because you know what it's like when you work with people in stressful conditions, high stakes, you bond with them, you care a lot. Let's see if I can get through this description without losing it. You care a lot about the people you work with. The work is important. They all care as much as you do. And I get to go out there and, you know, for an hour benefit from all of their hard work. And you just you can't stop saying thank you. And so it's really hard to leave that incredible experience. But I have this new incredible experience I'm now a part of with people who work just as hard. And it's
Nora
just
and Gail and everybody over at CBS
and all the people there who work, and there are people working right now on tomorrow's, like lots of people working right now on tomorrow's stories.
Shouldn't you be asleep already at this point?
Well, either asleep or waking up. I could say good morning to myself, actually, by the time
you could
I
lap
get
yourself
up.
in the middle of the night.
Exactly.
Well, listen. Surely you expected to be at, Face the Nation longer than 2 years.
Yeah.
Did Donald Trump break you? Did he make you flee the city? Because this is you grew up there. Most of your career's been there.
Born there. No, because I get to still cover that story.
Oh, okay.
So
from a safe distance.
No,
the splash zone,
right?
As we say at the Shamu tank.
Yes.
Everybody in Washington politics is wearing a metaphorical poncho right now.
No, I get to cover that story, and then of course the rest of the country too. So.
But has it changed? Has Trump changed? Obviously, he's changed the way people run for president, the way things in Washington are staffed. They have so many things unfilled. But you are like a national repository of norms and standards. You have a great memory for the history of Washington. What do you think the norms and standards are that Donald Trump has changed most in the first year?
Well, the first is, the Washington Post totaled up all the misstatements and untruths. He said it got over 2,000. So let's assume
misstatements and untruths. There's a really shorter way of saying that.
Yeah.
There's a shorter. I'm just saying, as an editor, shouldn't that down to the shortest?
Everybody's an editor.
Everybody's an editor.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But let's assume that half of those are overcounting. You're still talking about 1,000. And the presidency was an office in which we talk about Honest Abe. It's an office that used to be all about honesty. Now, some of our best presidents have been dishonest, both in the room and to the public. So,
give me an example.
Well, about FDR, they used to say you'd go into him and he'd say yes, yes, yes. Senator Long said this, that he would go in and he'd think, well, he's saying yes to me, but he's also saying yes to the next guy. And Al Smith was asked, what's it like negotiating or talking to FDR? And he says it's like nailing custard to a wall. That's what Chuck Schumer said dealing with President Trump is like dealing with Jell-O. They're always going to the desserts, I guess. But but that flexibility of opinion and position can be quite helpful. It can also be obviously destabilizing, and it can also be misdirecting. I'm not suggesting presidents should always be dishonest, but the fact is that has been one that this president, in his public comments, has been different than any president we've ever seen before.
So is that sort of lack of normality? Has that changing of standards, has that affected the way the news is covering?
Sure, because you have to remind people of the norms first, and then you have to say, here is where this president measures on that norm standard. As opposed to before, everybody agreed on what the measuring stick was, and then you could say, okay, this person either measures up or measures down.
But are there any more norms, or is this now the norm? I mean, Donald Trump is, by definition, acting presidential. Because he's the president. He's the president.
Right.
So what's happening right now on a daily basis is the normal thing to have happen. Are we going to ever return to a, in your opinion,
Right.
to a previous standard of norm?
Well, we'll have to figure that out because in some ways, you know, he would say, and his supporters would say, look, a lot of these norms shut out us. And he's in there changing these norms and doing good things and disrupting Washington because it needed it. And then there are a lot of other people who feel, oh my gosh, he's a threat to these norms, which, you know, the presidency actually is not that well defined. And so each president is constrained by the previous norms of their predecessors until they say, I'm not going to be.
Let's talk about the revelations on Mueller's probe that just came out yesterday and today. Can you read any significance into Sessions being called in for an interview with Mueller? Because that's calling in essentially his boss for a chat.
Right, although his boss is now recused, but yes, what it means to me is that it's getting closer to the president. And there's reporting that the president is, you know, going to have an interview sometime relatively soon if he agrees to do it. Because as you know, he said, well, maybe I won't.
But he originally said, anytime, 100%, under oath, you name it, bare-knuckled brawl, one hand behind my back.
Well, he did, and what's so interesting about that is that when he said that, so recently he said, nobody's proved collusion, so why have an interview? Well, obviously there's a lot of debate about that question, but leaving that aside, collusion was not what he said would be the topic of his interview with the special counsel. When he was asked, it was about James Comey and this question of obstruction. So when he said 100%, he was talking about the question of obstruction. So to say it's not worthy to have an interview because there's been no collusion is not really the point. He said, I would talk about this question of obstruction in that famous meeting in the Oval Office with Comey.
Now, I know you're not a lawyer, but can the president say no? Because Mueller is an appointee of the executive branch, so there's no separation of powers there. Can Mueller compel the president to come in or answer face-to-face, even if the president says, I want to answer on paper?
I don't think he can compel him. I think...
Under what grounds would the president say, I don't want to?
I'm the president.
But then where are we?
I'll come back on that show, yeah. I mean... people would, in that instance, talk about a constitutional crisis. Now, there would be a pain and a cost to that, and there would be Republicans outside of the usual suspects who would find that probably to be going too far, you could imagine, given how many Republicans in leadership have said they believe in what Mueller is doing, they believe he's an honest guy, so it would be quite a moment if that happened.
Please do come back if that ever happens.
Yeah.
In the meantime, good luck on your move up to New York. You lived here a long time ago, didn't you?
Yeah, back in the early 90s, when I worked for Time.
And New York, there's no city like New York. It's the greatest city in the world.
It really is.
Do you have like... do you have like young, happy memories of this city?
Well, I do. The woman who I'm lucky enough to be married to was my girlfriend back then. We were here together in New York together, and my favorite memory was Loudon Wainwright, who you know, the musician. He used to play at a place called The Bottom Line, which is closed, and I saw him once in Shakespeare Bookstore, which sadly is also closed. And I went home and I got one of his CDs, and I got him to sign it for me, which I thought on the one hand is, oh my God, that's sad. And then I thought, no, this is New York. These kinds of people are everywhere, and you can, and so I still have that CD. So it's a memory of my first, New York. There's stars everywhere.
Somebody's going to run up to you and ask you to sign your CD, John Dickerson. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. CBS This Morning airs weekdays on CBS. John Dickerson, everybody. We'll be right back with Eugene Levy. Wow, what a cliffhanger. What's going to happen in the next Late Show video? Click subscribe to find out.